A reconciliation contract is a contract that two parties to a marriage sign, and it contains terms, agreements, conditions on which they've agreed they want to continue with the marriage. So it's often after a period of separation or after some difficulty or turbulence in the relationship, but not such that they feel they want to go for a divorce. So it's a way of helping them to keep things on track. The terms can be quite wide, quite varied. It can contain anything from a wish to spend more time together, to go on holiday, to have a date night. And also, and importantly, it can contain financial terms, so the possibility of transferring property, possibly setting up a pension scheme. And it's the financial terms that a court will be interested in. So perhaps the more pastoral terms, a judge will be interested only in the context, because a court can't enforce those terms, but the financial terms, because a reconciliation contract is a form of post-nuptial agreement, can have force and can be upheld if the parties subsequently divorce. We have found precedents in the US in that the Americans use reconciliation contracts. It varies from state to state, but they've long used prenuptial agreements, post-nuptial agreements. And the reconciliation contract is a form of post-nuptial agreement because obviously you're signing it after you marry. And there are many examples in their law reports where the courts have upheld a reconciliation contract against the parties. Perhaps one reason why we're not sure of the numbers here is that obviously a reconciliation contract is a very personal, private agreement. It doesn't have to go to any court, it doesn't have to be enrolled anywhere. And if you've had some difficulty in your marriage, you may not want to volunteer the fact that you've got such a contract. So that might be a reason why the numbers here we think are pretty low. But nevertheless, it is a legitimate form of post-nuptial agreement, and provided that both parties have independent legal advice, that full disclosure is given and subject to a couple of other requirements, it's likely that the court will look to uphold the financial terms that appear in a reconciliation contract. I saw a wife recently who was concerned that money was going out of the matrimonial accounts quite legitimately for the support of the first family, but she felt that she needed some security in her own name just to reassure her. So we talked it through, and the husband agreed that he would transfer a property to be held in joint names between them, so that gave her some peace of mind. And also they agreed that in the event that they did divorce, then that would be her financial settlement, that would form the basis of their financial order. And that's another advantage of a reconciliation contract, is that when you're feeling quite well disposed towards one another, it's much easier to work out what the arrangements might be if you did ultimately separate than if the marriage breaks down suddenly and you're perhaps less well disposed to one another at that point.